Hey guys, LongHaul Larry, and we are here working on another trailer. I'm actually just bringing him over here, working on a cul-de-sac. It's a holiday weekend. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. Not a lot of traffic or nothing else, and this way if I need something special or something, shop is right up the driveway there. It's not too far of a walk. I have the air compressor going to provide air to the system, and we're going to do a quick check. I know that I think I got to do brakes on this. I got one tire looking like I got to replace, and then a bunch of other things, but we're gonna get started on this. So you have to excuse the noise of the air compressor. But we got our trailer tester checker thing. He's all hooked up. We got air pressurized to it. We need 100 PSI. To test the brake stroke and everything, you should have between about 90 and 100. And we're gonna open up our service, put it on remote. First of all, we'll walk around and check our lights. So if I push the button, the lights come on up there. All right, we have one light. See the clearance light up there on the top? That one's burnt out. On this side, actually, I need to get my phone. I'll be right back. So I'm just adding to the list. We did this with the notes, me and my boss do back and forth. So top clearance light on right, out. That one is working. That's working, that's working, that's working. All these are working on this, okay? So now we can go to the next button, which should be the blinker over here. So we got our blinker working. This blinker is working, and the top blinker is working. Now we can hit the next button. This will be the right blinker. Top is burnt out, and that is already on the list. It just says there we go. Just says that it's hanging out. Oh, it kind of flashed for a second. It did give me one little flash, but then stopped. And the right blinker up there is working. Now I hit the button again. This should be the bottom clearance lights. And the top, see the clearance light is just the blinker part, it's not working. He added these onto this trailer, that those top blink. He said it cost him $400 per trailer to do that. And all these clearance lights are working. So clearance lights are all good. So the next one should be brake lights. And it also tests the ABS. You hear that? And those up there. So those are all good. So now we're going to crawl underneath, and I'm going to test, look at all the brakes, inspect everything, see what needs to be done. So the tires, you can see, before I go underneath there, you can see the tires are in good shape. They're all in decent shape, good tread and everything. I've already inspected them all. The only problem is this one right here. It has this big gouge in the sidewall. That is not DOT. That is not good. Plus, it has all this dry rot on here. So that's ready for a blowout. So we're going to have to change this. I do have one used tire that will match up with that other one pretty good. So we'll be putting just a used tire on the outside of here. All right, now that we're underneath here, we're just going to be going along. And basically, I usually do from the rear to the front. And basically what I'm going to do is just doing inspection as I go along. This bumper is bent. I'm going to try to put a come-along onto it. And it's just the tip of it is bent out a little bit. I'm going to see if I can straighten it out. It's really nothing wrong with it, but it's, you know, you don't want it bent. So we're going to go through here and start inspecting stuff. And I'm basically looking at all the cross members, making sure there's no cracks. Cross members don't have any breaks on them or nothing like that. Everything is looking good. So I'm going to look at these airbags up here. These are right here. Make sure there's no cracks or no chunks of them missing or nothing like that. We're looking at the airbags on here to make sure there's no gouges in them, that there's not a bunch of dry rot on them. These are all good back here. And then we're going to check the S-cam bushings. Sorry, wasn't pointing the camera right. S-cam bushings, we're checking that. Okay, those are good, nice and tight there. And then you want to make sure that the clevis pins turn. If the clevis pins do not turn, I'm trying to do all this one-handed. If the clevis pins do not turn, the self-adjusting slack adjuster will not be able to work. So that one turns fine. I have to adjust this more. And that one turns. If these clevis pins get stuck, or they get a lot of wear and stuff, then it will actually affect the slack adjuster, and the slack adjuster will not be able to operate properly. So next, we can check our brake throw. I'm going to have to put the camera down. So basically, we're going to put it in. We're at 11 1/8. Where'd my little remote go? And then we can hit our brakes. And we're going to 12 5/8. So that is 1.5 inches. So we are good to go. So everything seems to be fine there, but the brake, what that's telling me is that everything is operational. The slack adjuster is doing its job correctly. There's no worn parts in here. There's no worn, the cam bushings are good. The drum is good. What that's telling me is everything is operational. Everything is working properly. But you can see these brakes here, they actually are worn right down to the DOT mark. So these are going to have to be replaced. It's already on my phone, on my list. I just went to go check to see if there's a leak in the axle, but I forgot this inflation system is disconnected. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Pin rotates. Okay, this one is not. Nope, that one's stuck. So this one has to be taken out. This will have to be taken out. This will have to be freed up, and make sure that it rotates and everything. If this does not rotate, that will keep the slack adjuster from doing its job. Same exact thing. It's 1.5, a little bit under 1.5. Oops, pushed the button, didn't release. These are good. That's good. Cam tube is good. Same thing. It's 1.5, almost 1 5/8. So we are good to go there. Now we are done with the tape measure. So now I'm just moving up and I'm just visually inspecting things. Airbags are good. No big gouges, no dry rot. It's kind of hard with the airbags because, you know, sometimes they just go, if you pop in and go through like an uneven, too fast or something. Check our bushings up here. Good to go. Good to go. That one's really close. Can't be more than 3/4 of an inch, and it's about a 1/16 under 3/4. But it'd be good to go now. Once it's over 3/4, it has to be replaced. So this is the box. This is the inflation system that I took parts out of and everything. I'm gonna mess with this and see if I can somehow miraculously make this one work. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now, all the hoses are disconnected off here because I don't want to attach to there and deflate the tires and couple them and stuff. So now we're just moving up your trailer here. As I'm going back, I'm just scanning. I'm just looking at the frame rails. Is there any cracks any place? Just doing a visual inspection of everything. We got a spare tire. Spare tire is nice, good tire. We're gonna be getting closer to the air compressor, so getting the noise again. All right. So far, so good. So now we're up to the fuel tank here. Now it's going to get really loud. So now we're up to the fuel tank. And we're visually looking at the fuel tank. We're looking at the straps, making sure the brackets and all the bolts are there. None of the brackets are broken. The straps are not rotting or nothing rusting that they're going to break and maybe drop a fuel tank. Everything is looking good there. We're looking at the cross members on the landing gear. Make sure there's no bends, cracks, nothing else. Nothing's loose. Also, these bolts here, up here on this crossover tube that for the legs and everything, for the crank up legs, those bolts sometimes will get oblong really bad. Sometimes they almost break off, so kind of visually check those as you go by. Alright, no cracks, no nothing yet. So now we're up here at the fifth wheel, the pin, the king pin. And basically what we're doing is we're looking at the plate up here and we want to make sure there's no spider cracks. So I'm looking at it, making sure there's no cracking going on, nothing else, that the pin isn't in a jar. And then there's a special little gauge, it's a plastic gauge, and you just slide onto it. I didn't bring it with me, but I'll do it. And it's just a little gauge, and you slide it over the top of it, and it's a go, no go. And they're not expensive. You just slide it one way, it goes on, it slides on. You turn it around, the other way it doesn't. It's a go, no go. As long as it fits in those parameters, you're okay, and you don't have any cracking. So we are good to go with our inspection. I like how somebody's put this on here to keep the door from popping open. We're going to open the door, visually check it, and you can see right there in that corner, it's been hit. So I'm going to try to pound that back in. We're gonna look inside the trailer. This thing is filthy, needs to be cleaned. I'm looking for any kind of gouges, anything else like that. Floor looks good. I don't see any rips in it or nothing. The forklifts hit them on the edges. This door is pretty good. It's got a couple rivets missing over there that I'll patch up. You can see somebody scuffed up something here on the side. Who knows? Oh yeah, and the bracket on the dummy light is bent. Somebody hit that. So there we go. So basically that's the inspection of the trailer to give me an idea of what needs to be done. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to pack up the truck. Before I get all the tools and all this stuff, I need to run to Tractor Supply, just up the road. I need to get a big come along to straighten that bumper out. And so I'm gonna do that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to keep, I'm gonna do this. I got a big push-pull. It's like a 10-ton push-pull press thing up in the shop. I'm gonna get that and I'm gonna use that instead. I'll put it against a tire. I think that I can get it with that. We'll try that. And like I said, I usually start on the back and then go forward. So I'm gonna try to fix the bumper. I'm gonna fix that light up there. And then I'm gonna jump underneath and the tires are gonna start coming off and I'm gonna do brakes, everything else, and make my way up my list as I go forward and fix everything. One other thing I forgot to do, guys, before I get started is this thing here. I just found out this thing was almost $2,000. I can't believe the bus paid that much for it. I was gonna make a homemade one. I've done it before in another place I worked at, but he actually paid $2,000. I was like, I couldn't believe that when he said it. And I actually looked it up last night, and this thing is like $1,800. It is awful cool, though. I gotta tell you, the remote thing. Everything else I can do, but you have to get up, you know, to activate the brakes. But you know, the remote thing is pretty cool. But these lights, I did figure out. The last trailer, it was saying that there was an open circuit. It was flashing, and that was lit up. And that's actually the ABS test. And so if I go around, I think you guys can see the lights this way, and I click on it, that applies the brakes, and then you can hear it test the ABS. And you can hear that, and if everything is good, it doesn't blink. And see here, see, that's the auxiliary, and that's actually for the dummy light up here for the inflation system, but it's not hooked up right now. But see, there's no, so that tests it, and if there's a problem with it, it'll flash. And then I guess somehow so many flashes or something like this, you can look it up and tell what the codes it is. That's pretty cool, guys. Expensive deal, but pretty cool. All right, guys. So I have a bunch of pressure on there right now. I'm just gonna see if I can heat up this bumper here and get it to bend a little bit. Ooh, that's pretty close. That is really close right there. We're gonna put a little bit of pressure, more pressure on there. Oh yeah, I just saw it bend. We're gonna take her just a little bit more because it should be just a little bit past. And then we'll release it and see how it springs back. Oh yeah, most definitely. All right, let's take the pressure off and see how it does here. Oh yeah, that's better. Much straighter. All right, we can go through and check off a couple things. Let's see here. Top right, marker light, check. Back bumper bent, check. Oh, we can fix this corner up here. That's pretty good. All right. Soak that nut down. We're going to very gently see if we can tighten this up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was just loose. That's all that was wrong with it. All right, guys, so that's all fixed. So now it's time for brakes. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to be doing, if I ever record it. I mean, you guys see me do brakes so many times. I think what I'm going to do is just do them, just knock them out real quick. Basically, I just got to pull all the tires off and pull the brakes apart, and then just drop new brake pads on there and stuff, and then put all the new brake pads on there and set everything back up again. We'll be good to go. I think I'll just bring you guys back at the end of that. You guys have seen this so many times. I'm going to try to make a video of all the way through this trailer, everything, and showing kind of what I check over and everything. So maybe this will be helpful. Other truck drivers kind of know what they're looking for, and see what's really entailed of, you know, working on one of these trailers and making sure that you are DOT legal and everything else. So I think you guys have seen me do brakes. It's pretty simple. So I think I'm going to do all that. I'll just bring you guys back at the end. Try to keep this video a little bit shorter because it's going to be a long one. All right, guys. We have actually, hoping I won't be bumping the camera. We've actually gotten the brakes all done. Everything's greased. All the brakes are set. I checked the brake throw. Everything is good. And now we're working our way up, and we're going to be installing a right way load scale. I guess this trailer has never had one, so I have to make the tap into the airbag. And I have to plumb it all the way up. So we just go on top of the airbag here. And the nut that holds the top of the airbag, it has a set screw in the top of it. There's a fitting right up in here in the front top corner. You guys can't really see it. It's behind a piece of metal. But it's got a set screw deal in it. And we're just going to be pulling it out. And once I do, it's going to make a big whoosh. And I gotta watch because it could come flying. I think it's gonna be one more turn. There she goes. So when you install one of these right away load scales, it comes with a kit. It gives you a whole bunch of fittings. And this is one of them. Yep. So one I want. You probably can't hear it now, but you probably heard it before. All the stuff going on in the background, all the fireworks. It is July 3rd, and everybody's out there doing fireworks. Except for LongHaul Larry. He's laying under a trailer. Told the boss, I was talking to Tracy, and she's like, you know, everybody else is off. You're working. You better be getting time and a half. There, you can hear the fireworks probably. I mentioned that to the boss. He says, okay, I'll pay you halftime. I said, no, that's not how that works. You're supposed to pay me a regular wage plus half of it. He didn't seem to have an understanding of that. There is a lot of other drivers, though, that are off. There's a lot of people home this weekend. A lot of trailers here. This was actually planned for me to be here, because I have that thing next weekend with UTV thing and all that, and to rent machines and everything. I try to work with the people that I'm renting the machines from, and to do that on a holiday weekend would not be a great idea, because it'd be pretty packed. I don't know if any subscribers are coming though. I had a couple people say that they were trying to set things up and this and that, but then I haven't heard a thing back, so. Okay. We got a little dirt in the end of there. So we're gonna snip that off. There we go. So it should be 9/16. Yep. Feed all this hose up to the front as far as I can go. Hoping this will be enough. And basically, whoa. Basically what we're doing is we're feeding through all these grommets that all these wires and stuff go through for all the hoses and the coiled up hoses with all the springs on it to keep off the ground. I'm basically just feeding it through those. You can fit it through there. And I'm just going through each one of these. It's kind of a process, pain in the butt, but then it will be done right. All right, guys, my SD card filled up. I had to empty some of it off. But I have the airline fed all the way back here. And then I have the hole drilled for the box out there for the wire to come through. And that's where the airline is going to plug in. It's just a quick connect deal. And so now I need to finish running this wire here, this airline. And what I've been doing is just tucking this back here. Just like so. It's the only place I can really tie it to. All right, and I usually leave a little bit extra just in case it has to be something in the future. But out of the hose that they send you, that's a little piece you have left. It's probably 4 or 5 feet. It's a pretty good guess on how much you're gonna need. We can just loom the rest of this. It's right about there. And all we gotta do is push her in. There we go. That's hooked up. Now we need to run our wire, and I just been running it right with this because I got to go back to this beam. So cool. So now I've been working on something else kind of off and on, and I'm gonna go see if I can finish it up, see if I can actually MacGyver something. The inflation system on this trailer is messed up. I actually took parts out of this one and combined this one with R73 to make one work. And I did. I was able to accomplish it. Got R73s working properly. I've been working on this one. I took apart the valves on the inside and I figured out how they operate, how it works. And I figured out the problem. There's a little diaphragm. It's a little rubber diaphragm. It's a little circular diaphragm thing that sits in there that keeps it, and that had a tear in it. And that's why I wasn't able to adjust it. Plus, there's a set screw that you adjust on a deflation, and it's locked in. This is the piece off of R73, and it's locked in there. It's a little set screw in aluminum little bow housing thing, and you can't turn it. It's like ready to strip. So I've been soaking it in PB Blister like all afternoon, and I'm hoping to break it loose. I might have to put a little bit of heat onto it and kind of work that Allen screw and kind of get it out of there and stuff and mess with it and see if the threads are okay. If it is, I've already taken, I had a bicycle inner tube that I had for doing something else. It was another little MacGyver thing I did on the Volvos because one of their hoses was constantly rubbing. So I would wrap them with this bicycle tube. And so I have a little chunks of it left, and that's rubber. and this other piece is a little piece of rubber. So I traced it onto it, and I made a new diaphragm out of it. So if I can get this set screw broken loose and get this working, I'm going to try to put this together and see if I can get this inflation system to work. And if I can, awesome. If I can't, oh well. I mean, it's a try. You know, it's not costing anything. A little time. But don't tell the boss if this gets working. Because I was talking to Tracy. I was telling her, so, well, yeah, I'm going to try to get this inflation system. I tore it apart. I think I figured out a way to kind of make it work. And she's like, oh, she goes, get the paper clip. Because she always called me a MacGyver. And I said, no paper clip. I said, it's a bicycle tube. And she's like, what? And I kind of told her, I said, I'm making a diaphragm. I cut one out. I said, I think it's going to work, so I can get the set screw working. She's like, you sure you can't use a paper clip someplace? I said, no paper clips. So if I get this working, you know, this is my problem with the boss. Is he knows that I can figure stuff out like this. He knows that I can, like, try to make it work. And a lot of times he goes, can't you just make that work or something? Instead of just getting me apart. So don't tell him I'm doing this. Alrighty, guys. So this is all installed. I'm going to check this off the list. I'm going to try to get this inflation soon. I'm going to see if we can get this set screw working or not. See what happens. Okay, guys. We had a success. So I'm going to see if I can get this back together. But this is the deflation valve. And there's a little set screw in the end of here that it's adjusted by. And it was rusted and stuff. The problem is these boxes are getting water in them. And it's corroding stuff. So it is what it is. This is the little gasket. Just a little piece of rubber that I cut. The other one had a tear in it. And that fits over. There's like a little air inlet right here. And then this goes over. And then there's a flat sealing washer that goes over the top of the rubber. That this goes over to. And then there's a pretty good size spring. Pretty powerful spring. You guys can't see that, I guess. But it's a pretty good powerful little spring. And that sits up in there with this little tiny piece of metal on that set screw. And that pushes against the spring. Flat piece, and that spring sits against it and pushes against the diaphragm, holds it there. And the more that you adjust that set screw in, it compresses that spring more and makes it harder for that diaphragm to release the pressure. Man, there's just so many bugs. There, put the light down there so the bugs go after that. So the tighter that you put that set screw, then that gives it more pressure. More pressure on that diaphragm, which makes the pressure harder to release. And if you loosen it, then the spring doesn't have as much tension, and then the air pressure can blow by it more easily. So it's a lower. That's all it is. It's a very simple thing. So now I just got to put this back together. All right, I have shut the air off to the trailer. Okay, and we have 110. So what I've been trying to do is 105. So we're going to turn the inflation down a little bit. Right there, bingo, 105. Perfect. We can check it again. 105. Okay, now we need a secondary air source. I have a T up there on the trailer supply thing. This goes straight to the air compressor. That's why the air compressor is running. Hook up our air line to it. We close this valve here. We can bleed the system. And then we add air to it. Oh, guys, this is working. This is crazy. The deflation right now is set at 130. I just kind of tighten it a little bit. So we're going to turn this down, which you turn it counterclockwise. Do it again. Okay, now we're down to 122, so what we're looking is 115. We got 120. 118. I really can't even believe right now this is working. That is the money right there. 115. Right on 115. So we got 115 on deflation now. We put the inflation back in. Comes up. 105. Wow! I like doing stuff like this. I like figuring stuff out. I've done this all my life. I started doing this stuff when I was like 5 years old, guys. My mom used to it would drive my mom nuts because I would just tear everything apart just to see how it worked. And we had 2 inflations. I think they were around $400 a piece for these controllers. And we had 2 trailers that they wouldn't work. You could not adjust them. And I swapped parts out of 2 of them to make one functional last night. And now I took all the junk parts. I cut out a new gasket, a new seal, which I'm telling you right now, Hendrickson here is probably going, "You can't do that. You can't do that." Well, I just did it and it's working. But and I freed up all this and got this working. I know how the valves work. It's actually very simple. It's not a very hard thing. And now I got to work. I'm actually really happy. Just don't tell the boss, because then he's going to expect this. All right. So now I got to run my lines back in. So guys, so I got this light changed. Sorry about the light here. I got this light changed. So that's working. The top clearance light's working now. It was just a bulb. I got all my hoses all put back on the axles there. Got all that done and everything. And now I'm going to move up to the front of the trailer. And things I have to do up here is I have to change. Let me put my light down. I have to change the document holder. There's no clasp on it, it's broken. So I just got to drill those couple of rivets out and pop rivet a new one on there. And then somebody must have backed into the idiot light up here. Dummy light, whatever you want to call them. And you can see how it's bent out like that on the side. So I actually had to replace one of these the other day. I had to replace the light itself, but I didn't have to replace the bracket. So I have a spare bracket. So I'll just pull that off. I was just going to hammer it straight, but you can see the face is kind of bent in and stuff too. So I have an extra bracket, so I'll just rip that off quick and put a new one on there. There we go. That's the cleanest part of the whole trailer right there, no? So that is done. Almost fell down there. Got me a big rubber band. Ring, ring, ring. All right. Reefer life status. Document holder. So now I have to do an oil change and then fill out the DOT inspection report. I've done the DOT inspection by going through all this, fixing all the things as I've gone. It's DOT compliant now. So I'll fill out the forms, peel off the old sticker there, put a new sticker on. You guys saw this last night on the trailer, changing oil and everything on the reefer. So don't really think I need to record it again. But this has been, it's going to be a long video. It's got pretty much a complete check over the trailer, all the things wrong with it, going through, fixing all the things. And maybe with some people that have trailers, or truckers, even if you don't have trailers, maybe if you're just a truck driver and you're over the road, what, it doesn't matter if you're over the road or whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But basically, if you're a truck driver, maybe this will help you on some of the things maybe you can look at to see if there's problems. So hopefully it just helps some people. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to finish this up, change the oil, fill out the DOT form, and this one is done. And then I'm going to run this one over to the yard, drop it, and I'm going to grab R74, bring that over here, and go to sleep. Go grab a shower, go to sleep. You can get up tomorrow and start it all over again on another trailer. So I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you're not, certainly just try that all over again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.